Hi, I'm Jonathan Edwards, and welcome to the second part of our two-part show, Cruising America's Waterways from Miami to Key West. Now, we're going to be seeing some great stuff and having lots of fun along the way. I've got crew member Nancy with me and Captain Mark, so let's get underway. What do you say?
Our adventure began in Miami, Florida, with an airboat ride. Wow. Then we took a look at South Beach's fabulous Art Deco architecture. We visited the Waterfront Vizcaya Museum, Fairchild Garden, and South Florida's oldest structure, the Cape Florida Lighthouse, before heading out of Biscayne Bay for the 60-mile cruise to Key Largo. Here, we went snorkeling in the ocean, and Captain Mark got to take the tiller on the African Queen. Our next destination was Islamorada, and some great charter fishing. And we're still here. And our next stop is Theater of the Sea. Here at the second oldest marine mammal park in the world, visitors may experience controlled interaction with sea animals like sea lions, dolphins, and sea rays. We began our adventure in a shallow pool of sea rays, armed only with a bucket of fish. Our next encounter was a swim with the dolphins. Of course, there were some rules.
It is a government regulation that we read the rules to you. A portion of the pool is sectioned off as dolphin or sea lion only area. Do not go into this area at any time. Animal participation in all sessions is optional. If they choose not to interact, that's the portion of the pool they can go into. If you become tired or if the animals behave in a way that makes you uncomfortable, let me know and swim into the stairs right away. For example, it's natural for dolphins to mouth things, to feel with their mouth. Hey, we've trained them not to interact with you in that way, just like you train your dog not to jump on people when they come over or to dig in the yard. So if our dolphins do that, tell us.
We usually do about a 6-month training period before we actually have members of the public go in the water with these animals.
Okay, well, Jonathan and I are going to get our fins back on here so we can attempt to swim with the dolphins, who are going to do a whole lot better job of this than we are, I can tell. They're waiting. They're waiting for us. It's wonderful. You're swimming and you're eye to eye with them. And they're just looking right at you. I don't know what they think of us, but they're pretty cool. It's just this power under your hands. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Such power.
I'm in love. Oh, it's wonderful.
Finally, we got to meet the seals. Each encounter was very different and gave me a better appreciation of the beauty and intelligence found in the sea. This was a day to be remembered.
Well, we were obviously swimming with the dolphins today, and I know one of them was named Buttons. What are the others?
The ones you swam with are Kona, Buttons, and Shiloh. And we have 9 other dolphins: Sherry, Sherman, Bubbles, Echo, Thunder, Nikki, Stormy, Genie, and Twister.
And you can differentiate all of them, you know, just who's who.
They all look different and they all have very different personalities.
It was time to leave Islamorada and head south to Hawks Cay Resort, where we would spend the night.
Absolutely gorgeous.
We headed out through the inlet to Hawks Channel for the 25-mile cruise. The average temperature in the Keys is about 75 degrees. There's no snow, frost, or sleet here, ever.
Everything is ducky. Ducky.
The Florida Keys experience 2 seasons, one wet, one dry. We're here during the dry season that runs from November through April. The wet season, from May through October, isn't really that wet, and most precipitation is in the form of brief passing showers or thunderstorms. Before docking for the night, we wanted to fuel up so that we could get an early departure in the morning.
Yeah, they got lines.
There you go, just keep it tight so we can pivot in on it. Perfect.
Thank you, sir.
You see a big 55-foot sea ray sitting in 27, you'll be right next to them off the starboard side.
Oh, it feels so small.
This resort features a large marina with all the amenities, 4 restaurants, recreational facilities, and the villas where we spent the night. Early in the morning, we had breakfast in the Palm Court.
Today we're headed down to Key West with a couple of stops along the way. So how long is that going to take us?
Well, it's about 50 miles. We should have a easy run today. The winds are northeast, be right on our transom, pushing us right down to the Key West light. It'll take us probably 3.5 to 4 hours, depending on how long it takes us to set that turtle free.
That's right. Well, on the way, we're going to stop at a sea turtle hospital where we're actually going to get to take a sea turtle that's been rehabilitated back out and let him go.
Once in a lifetime event for me.
That's right.
I think it'll probably be the first time, and maybe even the last time, a sea turtle walks off this cockpit.
Well, it should be a great adventure. We're going to pass under the 7 Mile Bridge.
Yeah, that'll be a neat sight. I mean, it's the old bridge and the new bridge, they run right side by side, but it's an awesome view to see 7 miles of highway running off into the fabulous Florida Keys. It's really neat.
Well, we've got beautiful weather and smooth sailing, so I think we're ready to take off.
I'm ready to take off. Let's do it.
Captain.
We headed back to Hawks Channel, enjoying the scenery all along the way. Because this region does experience hurricanes, and has since the beginning of time, construction is designed to withstand these infrequent bouts with nature.
Behind me is the longest segmented bridge in the world, the 7 Mile Bridge. We're on the Atlantic side. Once we go under, we'll be in the Gulf. You can't see it from here, but just beyond the new bridge is the old bridge, which actually was Flagler's Railroad. Today, it's used as a fishing platform for the locals and all the tourists in the area.
On Pigeon Key, in a building that once housed the railroad construction workers, there's a new museum.
Well, the state of Florida really owes a lot to Mr. Henry Flagler. He determined in the latter part of the last century that it was important to run a railway all the way down the coast of Florida. They got it as far as Miami in 1896, and the people in Key West saw that this was wonderful, and they clamored to have it extended all the way from Miami to Key West. They began the project about 1904, got to Key Largo in 1906. In 1908, they looked out in Marathon and saw, whoa, we got to build a bridge 7 miles long. They started it in 1908, finished it in 1912, and on January 22nd, 1912, Mr. Henry Flagler himself took the Key West extension all the way to the island city. He spent 3 days there. They partied, they celebrated. It was a great commercial success. He spent $31 million building the Key West extension, and it was in service till 1935 when a great hurricane destroyed some of the track up in the Islamorada region. At that time, they decided, well, it's the age of the automobile. Let's get rid of this train system and build a highway on top of the railroad bridges and all the fill. But all in all, anyone who drives down to Key West now really ought to remember that they're driving along an old railroad.
We next docked in Marathon at the Turtle Hospital. This large private rehabilitation facility is supported by guests staying at the adjacent motel.
Yeah. Ooh, they're pretty fast, too.
They are fast.
Here.
Hello.
Look at these little flippers.
Oh, it's incredible.
They're very hyper when they're little.
Spanking me. Well, sorry.
They're about 5 months old. Now these are green sea turtles, and they'll actually get about 500 pounds fully grown.
But you know, the turtles are out there, they're hungry, they see a trap full of lobster, they're attracted to it, and then they get tangled up in the rope. But our fishermen work with us, and they bring them in when they find them, and we fix them. And this one's going to be released today. If you'd like to use your boat, well, we'll be happy to let you wash your boat, then we don't have to wash ours.
Before being released, the turtle had to pay a final visit to the hospital. While a cleanup was required for entry, there were no insurance forms. Earlier, surgery was required to remove a severely injured flipper.
She's 87.5 pounds, 39.7 kilograms. Okay. 52.4 straight line width. 68.2 curve length. And this is just a preventative to make sure that she doesn't have any parasites. People say, oh, they're so smart, they can travel around the world and come back to the same beach 50 years later. Well, I think it's 200 million years of genetics. I don't know how smart they are. They keep thinking there's free lunch in those lobster traps. Sort of like piercing your ear. Oh, that's great. Okay, left front flipper is SSY 243. Okay, on the right rear, we have SSY 243. Good. Well, I steady that end, and you get the. I'll take the biting end, and you guys take the other one. Good. Okay. Let us go first. I'm used to walking backward. No, watch your step. Okay, let me just take this side so I can shutter. Okay. Got it. Got it. Set it right down here. There. Yes. Okay.
The release point was in the Gulf of Mexico, near the 7 Mile Bridge.
All right, you ready? Back to the ocean, baby. Bye. Bye. Notice how she uses that right rear with the left front and goes in a straight line? Thanks, guys.
That's the coolest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, your first turtle release? Good. Well, thanks for the help. We didn't even have to get our boat wet today. It is great, isn't it? Nice to put something back. Yep.
We headed back under the 7 Mile Bridge to the Atlantic and west towards Key West, also the southernmost of the Keys. This is a port of call for many cruise ships headed for the Caribbean. And while we were here, we had to check our charts again for the exact spot where we would be docking. Key West was settled by the 1820s, long before the other keys. It was a sea trading town, dealing in fish, sponges, sea turtles, and wrecking. It has always been a melting pot culture, tolerant and laid back, and until Mr. Flagler's 1912 railroad, accessible only by water.
We've just arrived here in lovely, zany, wild, crazy Key West, Florida by boat. And we came to see this lighthouse that's in the middle of town. I don't know why there's a lighthouse in the middle of town exactly. Maybe we can find out.
Protect guys like me.
Protect you. We seem to have lost Nancy, though, is our problem. So you don't suppose she would have crawled in the lens or something up there, do you? The top of the lighthouse?
It might have happened. We better check it out.
Okay, we'll go check.
I'm looking better than ever, don't you think? I'm actually standing inside a Fresnel lens, very similar to the one that was used in the lighthouse that we are now in. The lighthouse on this site is actually the second one here. The first one was built in the 1820s. That was destroyed. And then the second one was built in 1847 and remained a working lighthouse until the late 1960s.
The keeper's home, next to the 90-foot lighthouse, is now a museum, a short distance from one of the Keys' most popular monuments.
Here we are in the southernmost point of the continental United States, here in Key West, Florida. And it's 150 miles from Miami, but it's only 90 miles from Cuba. So what do you say we go there?
I think that's a good idea.
Wait a minute, Miami or Cuba?
Yes.
Let's go.
Okay.
On the waterfront is Mallory Square, where tourists gather every night to be entertained and enjoy the sunset.
Are you going to sing us a song?
Sure, what would you like to hear? I know, something totally out of the picture, like...
Something celebratory. We're at a celebration.
Okay. Let's talk dirty in Hawaiian. Whisper in my ear. Kiki puka maka wawahini mama. That's the words I long to hear. Lay your coconutters on my tiki. Hey, what the heck, a muka muka dear. Let's talk dirty in Hawaiian. That's the words I long to hear.
What's the words?
Well, I packed my bags and bought myself a ticket to the land of the tall palm tree. Aloha, Washington, D.C. And hello, Waikiki. And as I stepped down from the airplane, I swear I heard her say, hey, nuka nuka waka leka, nuka nuka waka leka, would you like a lay? So I said, sure, let's talk dirty in Hawaiian. Whisper in my ear. Kiki puka maka wawahini mama, that's the words I long to hear. Lay your coconutters on my tiki. Hey, what the heck, a muka muka dear. Let's talk dirty in Hawaiian. That's the words I long to hear. Aloha! Well, it's a ukulele Honolulu sunset. Listen to the grass skirts sway, drinking rum from a fresh pineapple. Here on Honolulu Bay. And as the steel guitars are playing, well, she tells me with her hand, she said, give me okadoka, make a wish, I wanna polka, words I understand. So let's talk dirty in Hawaiian, whisper in my ear. Kiki puka maka wawahini, that's the words I long to hear. Lay your coconutters on the tiki. Hey, what the heck, a muka muka dear. Let's talk dirty in Hawaiian. That's the words I long to hear. Well, I bought a lot of junko with my moolah. I sent it to the folks back home. But I never got a chance to dance the hula. But I guess I should have known. When you want to talk with a sweet wahine and walk her in the pale moonlight, you say, okadoka, what I said, a nakaraka, sispumbaka, hope I've said it right. And let's talk dirty in Hawaiian, whisper in my ear. Everybody, kiki puka maka wawahini mama, that's the words I long to hear. To lay your coconutters on my tiki. Hey, what the heck, a muka muka dear. So let's talk dirty in Hawaiian. That's the words I long to hear. Yes, let's talk dirty in Hawaiian. That's the words I long to hear. Aloha! Aloha.
Well played.
Classic.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, not bad. I love learning new songs.
Thanks.
Now it was time for a bedtime snack and my favorite dessert.
You know, we got the real thing, first of all, is when the filling is yellow, because the pulp of a key lime, or the pulp even of a regular lime, is yellow. If you ever see a green key lime pie, you know it's imitation. What we do is we fill these pies like that, put them on a tray, rack them, they set up, then we bring them off again, put them on the table, and then we top 12 at a time. 180 times a day. Top the pie like so.
This is really good. This is very, very good.
This channel allows small boats to dock at the resort where we spent the night. Because the manatees here are so curious, boaters have to exercise caution to avoid running into them. Key West has a range of accommodations, perhaps more restaurants per capita than any other American city, and lots of places to visit. This is the view from the Shipwreck Historeum's tower, where businessmen once watched for ships to founder on the coral reefs so that their cargoes could be salvaged. Once the passengers were saved, the ship and its cargo belonged to the rescuers.
Well, when this became U.S. territory in 1820 or so, well, the U.S. government put a stop to taking all that cargo back to foreign parts. It had to come to two places, one being St. Augustine, inconvenient, the other one being Key West, very convenient. And so the place became one of the richest cities, in fact, the richest city in the United States for more than 50 years, simply because of the immense profit that come from the salvage of wrecked ships.
This is the home of American author Ernest Hemingway and his renowned six-toed cats that are a non-literary legacy. Hemingway lived here from 1931 to 1939, writing works including To Have and Have Not. Papa Hemingway's colorful persona fits well in Key West. There's ferry service from Key West's waterfront to the Dry Tortugas, which lie about 70 miles away. The round trip takes up a full day. Potential weather and ocean current problems make small boat travel unwise.
But it's pretty much straightforward. It's due west to go down there, just about due east to come home.
There's a limit on the number of visitors allowed in the park at any one time. And it's a pack-in, pack-out destination, meaning you must take everything you need with you to the park, including fresh water. There is a saltwater restroom, but no other tourist amenities are available. These 7 islands were once the home to large numbers of sea turtles, hence the Spanish name Tortugas. Since there's no fresh water, the islands are dry. Birdwatching is superb here. Fort Jefferson dominates the landscape. This is America's largest coastal fort. Construction started in 1846 and went on for 30 years, but the fort was never completed. It became a Union prison during the Civil War, and its most famous inmate was Dr. Mudd, who attended John Wilkes Booth, President Lincoln's assassin. The entire area is designated as a no-take zone, protecting the marine life in these crystal-clear waters. Accessible by boat or seaplane, the Dry Tortugas National Park allows you to step back in time.
Well, with this manatee swimming at my feet, brings us to the end of our 2-part show where we went from Miami to Key West. We had some great times, some unforgettable once-in-a-lifetime experiences, and we're glad you could join us. We hope you'll join us next time when crew member Nancy and Captain Mark and myself take you on another wonderful journey on Cruising America's Waterways.